some elements and also change I'm using only a simple functionality of changing the background account, but of course you can perform many functions available in jQuery, as we'll see some of it. So let's say in this list, this is our list. The list is inside a div, and let's say we want to change the color of the odd items only, okay, to red. Not all the items in the list, but only the odd items. So I will say select all list items. As you can see, this is a nested selection rule. It means select all list items inside the list. And as I said, I want only the even, the odd. So I say odd. Okay. And of course, sorry, let's. And there is also even. Let's make it blue. Okay. Pretty easy, right? And also, you can say select a certain item, inst item with index, let's say 4, 0-based index, and make it yellow. Sorry. So it's pretty easy to address your whatever the hierarchy of your HTML. You can address a certain and specific HTML element using, as we said, the CSS rules. Okay. So these are some. We call this a positional selector because it selects item based on the positions. Okay. So the basic concept in jQuery we learned already, the jQuery selection. Okay, we selected items. We know how to select items. Okay, what can we do with items? In jQuery you'll find many functions that deals with the UI effects, UI animation, Ajax, document manipulation, arrays, strings. All the required functions will be available there. So let's see some sample here. This is. Again, this is a simple web page. Let's say that I want, whenever I hover over this link, I can see the a picture will appear whenever I hover this link. So in my case, whenever I hover this on div lifestyle link, I want to see the logo of div lifestyle. So let's see the structure of our. So this is our HTML. We have a div called speaker info that contains our link. Okay. So what I will do is that, as we already know right now, we say document.ready. But you don't have to necessarily write document.ready. There is a shortcut for it. If you immediately write function like this, this will be executed directly. Okay, so you don't have to write document.ready. So as we said, whenever we hover over this link, we want to see the div lifestyle logo. Okay, I have here the logo already inside this div, this image, and I put it inside a div, and the div is hidden right now. Okay, so what will I do is that I first have to select the link, the A element. Okay, as we said, the element is in this div. Okay, so I have to select this div and select the element inside this div. So of course I can give the link an ID and select it directly by writing hash and the ID of the link, or I can do this div. So this is my div that contains the element, or I can write directory speaker info and then select the link inside it. Then there's a function called hover. Okay, it's called whenever you hover on the element. It takes two parameters. Actually, it takes two methods. It takes a method that executes when you are hovering in the element, and another method that executes whenever you hover out of the element. So it takes two functions. So let's implement the first function, which will be called whenever we hover in the element. So what I need to do is to show the image. So I will select the image first. Let me check the image name. It's inside a div called image, so I can say image. This will select the div, and let's show the div directory. We can say, of course, show, or we can use some of the UI functionalities available in jQuery. We have something called feed in. Feed in will show the image as feeding. You can specify interval, for example, 2 seconds here. Okay. So whenever we hover in, it will feed in, and whenever we hover out, we will call fade out. Let's see if this will work. Okay, nice. And as you said, there are multiple UI. Slide down. Okay. So these are some of the functionalities available in jQuery regarding the UI. There are an extensibility mechanism available in jQuery. So jQuery, as you said, it's open source JavaScript library, so anyone is free to add more functionality. And to do this, you have to develop what we call a plugin. So you develop a jQuery plugin, and it will be integrated directly to jQuery. And luckily for us, there are like hundreds of plugins available on the internet that does everything you want. So usually, whenever I'm facing some problem in JavaScript, or I want to perform some functionality in JavaScript, I first go to Google and search for a plugin. And usually, I find a plugin that does exactly what I want. So let's see an example for one plugins. Yeah, there are multiple nice looking plugins. Let's see this web page here. Okay, I have a table. And I have requirement from customers that you want to drag and drop the rows of the of the table, so rearrange the rows. So I searched and found already one plugin available. So the plugin, usually all plugins are just JavaScript file you include. Some plugins come with also CSS classes that you should implement. But basically this plugin is only one JavaScript file, so I included here. It's called table drag and drop. And as you can see, this is our table. So let's say document. So to call this plugin, all I have to do is select the table. I'm using the table, the tag name and the CSS class. Select the table, dot table dnd drag and drop. This is a function available from the plugin. And as you can see, using only one line, I got drag and drop rows in JavaScript, in jQuery. Okay. Of course, almost all of the plugins usually provide UI functionality. Let's see this one. Let's see here in this web page, we have like some thumbnail of images, and whenever I am clicking on one, the full image appears. Okay, so I want to provide this to the user in a nice UI, not like this, because if in this way the user have to go back and it doesn't look nice. Okay, so I searched in the internet. I found a plugin called Lightbox. It's a famous one. This plugin is only a JavaScript file and comes also with some CSS classes. You can of course change these classes, but this plugin particularly requires that there are a specific naming convention for using the CSS. Of course, you can read this on the plugin homepage. So as you can see, this is our list of images, and what I will do is that let's use the shorthand for this one. To apply the image, to apply the plugin, sorry, on the list,